Hi smart cookies, today we are going to learn if class or conditional classes. If class is otherwise called as conditional classes, right? So there are three types in if classes, type 1, type 2 and type 3. Before that we have to learn zero conditional class, right? We will see one by one. Zero conditional class, it expresses general truth or scientific facts. These sentences express general truth or scientific facts, and let's see a few examples. You will be able to understand it better. If you heat ice, it melts. So if a sentence is like this, first you divide it into main class and dependent class. If you heat ice, if you take the sentence up to this, then it is not complete. If you heat ice, what happened? The result clause is unknown. So this is the dependent clause, and this one, it melts. When you say it melts, the sentence is complete. Then this is main clause, right? If you heat ice, it melts. This clause is called dependent clause because only it depends on the main clause. When it depends on the, it gets meaning. This clause gets meaning only when it depends on this main clause, right? So this is result clause or main clause. This one is called as if clause or subordinate clause or dependent clause. Okay, all the three are same only. If you heat ice, what happens? It melts. So the verb in if clause and the verb in main clause, both are in present tense. Okay, so if it is like that, then it is zero conditional clause. In if clause also the verb will be in present tense, and in result clause or main clause the verb will be in present tense. In both the clauses, clause means nothing but a group of words. Clause is a group of words. If you heat ice, it melts. So in both the clauses the verbs are in present tense. Next one, if you freeze water, it becomes solid. So if you freeze water, what happens? It becomes solid. So up to this is dependent clause and this is main clause. So the verb in if clause is in present tense and the verb in main clause is also in present tense. If you freeze water, it becomes solid. So 100% possibility is there. Definitely things will happen. So this is, otherwise we can call it as real condition. Okay, real condition, 100% possibility is there. Things will happen definitely. It's confirmed. Then babies cry. See, you should not think that if clause should come only at the beginning of the sentence. It can come in the second part of the sentence also. Okay. For that we can see an example. Babies cry if they are hungry. Babies cry. That is main clause. Okay. This is main clause. Babies cry. When do they cry? If they are hungry. If they are hungry is the subordinate clause. Subordinate clause. This is otherwise called main clause or result clause. This is dependent clause or subordinate clause or if clause. Babies cry if they are hungry. The only difference between these two sentences is that when you write if clause at the beginning of the sentence, there is a comma at the end of the if clause. Whereas when it comes at the second part of the sentence, comma is not necessary, comma is not needed. Babies cry if they are hungry. Okay. So now let's see conditional clause type 1. First, in if clause the verb will be in present tense and in main clause the verb will be in future tense. This is the tips you have to remember for all the classes. Structure is there. I will tell as I proceed further. Okay. First example, let's see. If you work hard, this is the dependent clause. If you work hard, what will happen? You will pass. You will pass in the examination. If you do this, certain thing will happen. So this is 99% probability is there. 99% probability is there. This is also real condition only. Okay. Zero conditional and type 1 both are called real condition. Definitely things will happen. That is 100% possibility. This is 99% probability is there. Right. So, if you work hard, you will pass in the examination. So, in if clause, verb will be in present tense, and in main clause, verb will be in future tense. So, that is the difference you have to know. So, let us go to the second example. If you go to job, you will earn money. If you go to job, you will earn money. So, this is the verb here. Go is in present tense, and in main clause, you will earn money. That is the main clause here, right? So, up to this is subordinate clause, this is main clause. So, the main clause verb is in future tense. And next one, third one, if you are well disciplined, you will be appreciated, you will be honored. If you are well disciplined, if you are a disciplined child, you will be appreciated by everyone, right? So, if you are well disciplined, in if clause the verb is in present tense, and in the main clause you will be appreciated. This verb is in future tense. So, this is it, type 1 conditional clause. Next, let us learn type 2. Now, let us learn type 2. It is otherwise called unreal condition, unreal or hypothetical or improbable condition. Only these things will happen only in imagination. It is possible only in imagination. So, it is imaginary condition. So, let us see two examples. In if clause, the verb in if clause will be in past tense, and the verb in main clause will be in would plus present form of verb. This is the structure for type 2 if clause, improbable condition or imaginary condition. Okay. So, if I were a bird, what I would do? I would fly everywhere. If I were a bird, I would fly everywhere. But I am not a bird, I cannot fly. That is the truth. So, this is hypothetical. This is only in imagination it is possible. Improbable condition. It cannot happen at all. It cannot happen. So, 0 conditional and type 1 real conditions. Okay. That will happen for 100% sure. But these type 2 and type 3 things will not happen. Okay. If I were a bird, I would fly everywhere. And one more thing you have to note here is, though I is singular, you should not use the verb was. You have to use only were, because this is imaginary condition. Any pronoun for that matter, you have to use the verb were. You should not use was. Okay, this you have to keep it in mind. If I were a bird, I would fly everywhere. If I were a millionaire, if I were very rich, what I would do? I would help the poor people. I would help the have-nots. Poor people. Have-nots means poor people. If I were a millionaire, the verb here in main clause, the verb in dependent clause is in past tense, and the verb in main clause is in would plus present form of verb. Would plus present form of verb. And here also you can see in dependent clause, if I were a bird, the verb here is in past tense, I would fly everywhere. In main clause or in result clause, the verb here is would plus present form of verb. So, this structure you have to keep in mind. Now, let us learn type. Let us learn the if clause type 3. This is also unreal condition, as I said earlier, for type 2, right. So, if clause, the verb in if clause will be in past perfect tense, and the verb in main clause will be in would have plus past participle. So, this is the structure for type 3 if clause. This is also only in imagination only these things will happen. Improbable condition. So, if you had worked hard, you would have passed the examination. But you didn't work hard, that's why you did not pass the examination. You have failed, that is the truth. But after that we are telling like this, if you had worked hard, you would have passed the examination. So, this had worked, the verb in if clause is in past perfect tense, right, past perfect tense, and in result clause you would have passed the examination. This is would have plus past participle, V3 form, right? Would have plus past. Very good. So, either would have or would not have. If it conveys negative meaning, you have to add one not here. Would not have plus past participle, right? So, if they had taken him to hospital earlier, if they had taken him to a hospital earlier, he would not have died. He would not have died. But the patient had died. After that you are telling, if you had taken him to hospital soon, immediately soon after the accident, he would have survived. But he had died, right? So, if they had taken him to hospital earlier, he would not have died. So, the verb in if clause is in past perfect tense and the verb in main clause is would not have plus past participle. I have written the structure for you here. This timetable you have to remember forever. So, make a note of it. Zero condition, type 1, type 2 and type 3, and in if clause the verb will be in present tense. In result clause verb will also be in present tense. So, in type 1 present clause, present tense and future tense. In if clause verb will be in present tense and in result clause verb will be in future tense. In type 2 verb will be in past tense and in the main clause would plus present form of verb. And in type 3 if clause, in if clause verb will be in past perfect tense and in result clause verb will be in would have plus past participle. So, this is the structure you have to remember. You can easily identify type 1, type 2 and type 3. I hope you would have enjoyed the class. Thank you for watching.